Morning, guys. This is Rob, and this is Trader Genius. This will be a demonstration of the live day trading tools, and I'll be day trading options using the Trader Genius software. So what you're seeing on your screen right now is simply my layout. It's as simple as possible. It's like a dashboard for watching the market go by, how the morning shapes up. I'm going to switch it to 1-minute candles here on my chart. Use candlesticks instead of line charts. There's just simply more information on these. But a quick orientation. The main window to which I'm viewing the behavior of the individual stocks that I might be trading is right here in this chart. And you can see Microsoft is the first stock I'm looking at. They had in the first minute some buying and selling a little bit, but a little bit more buying, and then some selling going on in the second minute. I won't be trading until 9:36 Eastern at least. I'm in Colorado, so it'll be 7:36 my time. But you can see up here in the top right, I have a little market indicator that tells me the direction of the overall stock market. Use 4 major indexes to deduce that. So primarily we're using SPY, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, that's 30 stocks, the IWM, which is Russell 2000, and then the QQQ, the NASDAQ 100. So those all comprise, go into a lot of this round summary right here that tells me what the market's doing. I've also got this Power Genius that is telling me it's power in the red direction or the green direction. I'm trading options, so it's really one of the biggest benefits of being a day trader for options is you can make a profit on the way up or the way down using calls for green moves and puts for red moves. If you can see over here on the right hand side of your screen, this is the option quad. So this is my interface with the options market. All the charts and these market indicators are going to be telling me what the stock market is going to do. But the options pricing is right here in the quad. So let me switch around to a couple of different stocks. And here's an index. IWM is moving down nicely, red. It's still in this kind of risk zone, so it's not in an area I want to be trading. It's a little bit too early anyways. So at this point in the morning, I'm checking my multi-day charts, make sure that there's kind of no ceilings or floors that I'll be running up against in the forms of resistance and support respectively. Things like this right here, the previous low, you've got the pivot, the RA, the SA line. These are kind of known resistance and support areas, so I'll be watching those closely. And you can see right here, we're starting to heat up in the red direction. Let's check out what SPY is doing. SPY is one of my primary market indicators. And we've got some red action early, some selling, but not too strong. So we'll see how that plays out. Today is January the 21st, Thursday, and here in the USA, we had an important day yesterday. The new president was sworn into office, so this is his first day on the job with the vice president there, and we'll see how Wall Street reacts. Not going to try to predict anything. It's not being a systematic trader and trading by a set of rules. It's not. There's no room for prediction. That's not what this is all about. This is all about checking out these trends, watching them unfold, letting our indicators paint the chart and tell us when the risk is lowest. And basically you can view it as green and red waves kind of on a river, and we see the indicators will tell you when it's a clearly strong flow of the river in one direction or the other, and these individual stocks are like canoes on that river. Most of them are going to go downstream, so that's what I'll be looking for. I'll look for a nice strong consistent trend. The behavior of the stocks and indexes will show me, and I'll just be taking a bite. So I'll be along for the ride on a very short move, and we'll get a few percentage, hightail it, and get out of here for the day. So that early selling has been countered by a little bit of buying. So let's click around and see what SPY is going kind of sideways, up and down. Dow Jones, same behavior, kind of channeling in that area. You can see on these charts, there are some important indicators like 52-week high, 20-day break above. Yes, most of these indexes are at their all-time highs right now. So it's a pretty interesting time to be trading. Here goes Microsoft. That's a nice red move. We have some powerful indicators painting this red move, but it's a little bit too old for me at this point. My trading window is just about to open at 9:36 Eastern. There we go. So let's start seeing what is making a move. Boeing is coming down a little bit. Doesn't have much volume, so I'll come right back to that. IWM is breaking down, but that's a little bit of an old move. Apple's breaking up, but Apple's going up, and the market is showing a little bit of a downward direction. When it's a mixed bag like this, I'm going to stay out. I'm waiting for a unified market to show me that it's moving strongly in one direction or the other, green or red. So there goes Microsoft heading down. Boeing looked a little bit juicy, but it found some support here at the SA line and that 210 per share. So we'll move on from there to see what Boeing gives us later. Facebook is butting up against a 7-day break above a previous high, and it's stacked right there on top of RA and 270. And basically, you can just view these as kind of intersections, and you proceed when clear. Facebook is moving up nicely right there. Got some good markers, some good paint on the chart, if you will. That's what the indicators do. They paint the chart and tell us what the risk is. Facebook is finding a little bit of resistance at that ceiling. We'll see what it does if it can power through. It does have some nice consistent volume, and that's building. And it bounced off of opening price, very briefly found some support there. So this is looking pretty good for a green move. Let's see what Apple's doing. That's 3 candles deep, so I'll pass on that. And I've got market indicators showing me the red direction, so I'm not going to trade Facebook on a call in the green direction when that's happening. IWM went down, touched previous low. And what I'm looking for is a nice fresh move. Maybe Disney here. See which way it goes. Okay, 171.50. Just doesn't have a lot of volume on Disney. It doesn't have that look of follow through. And basically what you can boil down all of these indicators I'm looking at for my rules, my process, is traffic lights. They're telling me, hey, it's either, I'm sitting there at an intersection with my foot on the brake. And as long as I keep my foot on the brake and hold still, I'm fine. I don't need to trade any of these stocks or indexes. What I want is an obvious green light situation, so I know it's clear to proceed through that intersection. And you know, if you are blowing through red lights and you're chancing it, thinking, I can make it to the other side, you want to take that risk, that's living dangerously. And it's really, really hard to systematize and get consistent results from that kind of inconsistent behavior. So in my trading system, that doesn't belong. Apple had a really nice move here, but it's near the end of the move, it appears, and there's a decent chance that there's going to be resistance here at the 135 mark. 134.96 is RB. Those are stacked together, so we'll see what the behavior of Apple is around this ceiling resistance line. Another indicator come on telling me that there's some resistance to the buyers of Apple, and you can see it's selling pretty quickly, pretty rapidly. So it's a good thing we didn't get in there. Those old moves, old trends tend to have that same behavior. Goes IWM charging down again. Goes Microsoft finding some support at 223. And SPY is, it's breaking down a little bit, but it's not too strong. So let's check out some of the other stocks. We've got Disney here. Boeing is thinking about challenging 210 again. There we go. Still finding some buyers there. And we're waiting for some volume to come back in. It's now 9:40 Eastern. And we've got a decent bear trend going on. IWM. Okay. Boeing, let's check that again. Disney is still thinking about breaking down, but it's already moved quite a bit of range this morning. So we'll see what happens. It's got that inconsistent, spotty volume. I like to trade NVDA. That right now is just going sideways around that pivot line. So we'll just keep moving on. Apple had a big fat red candle right there, so some selling activity. Bounced off that ceiling. You see this behavior a lot. And really, that's all we're doing when we watch the market like this is checking on the behavior of these stocks and making sure it fits our rules, i.e., is the stock most likely to continue in either a red or a green direction in a nice, smooth, tradable trend. We'll take a hitch a ride with the stock that looks the best, if at all. If any of them meet our rules, meet my rules, then I'll be in. If not, I don't need any of these trades. I can always come back. There are a million more trades coming. There are a million trades I missed previously where people made money. You have to be able to let that go as a day trader, a systematic trader. Checking back on Apple, that one big red candle had a little bit of uncertainty around 134.50, and now it's charging all the way back down to 134. So there's plenty of selling going on there. Let's see what Disney does around this previous bottom right here. Finding some support. Microsoft heading down. NVDA, okay, it's starting to form a downward trend. Let's see what it does around 530. Get some good paint, some indicators coming on. Add a little volume come in there. That purple histogram at the bottom is the volume. Volume is one of the key ingredients for a nice tradable trend. It provides follow through. It provides some gas to your trading vehicle. There we go. Here goes Boeing, breaking down below SA there. Still finding some support. Not quite convincing enough. And it's 9:42 Eastern. A lot of turnarounds, a lot of changes in behavior tend to happen around 9:45 Eastern. So let's just see how this plays out. Not going to get in on Boeing just yet. It's coming up to that 9:45 mark. Breaking down nicely. There are going to be a lot of times as a trader, you see these trends, they're not quite fitting your rules, so I have little tools inside the Trader Genius software. I use a little hold control, click it, and I put this little purple marker on, so it's a little mock trade for me. It doesn't meet my risk tolerance. I'll see what happens. I like to like a mock trade, see where I would have gotten in, and then hypothetically where I would have gotten out. It's just kind of like a practice repetition, repetitions in the batting cage, if you will, taking swings in baseball or cricket. Goes Disney. It's still trying to navigate that 171.50. Seems to be breaking just a little bit. It's a couple cents below. Let's watch and see what happens. Up, down, up, down. Microsoft appears to be finding floor as well. Let's see what the indexes are doing. SPY almost made it down to the pivot, but it's going sideways. Again, 52-week high on SPY. There's not a ton of volume. It's one of the most important indexes for the overall market, and it doesn't have a ton of volume. So that tells you something, maybe that nobody knows what's going to happen, and there are a lot of people in wait-and-see mode. A lot of people with deep accounts who can move the market, waiting to see what happens. All right, so here we were approaching that 9:45 mark. It's an important time window for most traders, stocks or options. See that Boeing behavior? It's kind of, it's up and down. It's finding that window, so close that little mock trade right there on the green candle. See ya. A lot of times stocks or indexes have this behavior where they need to take a rest. They go sideways for a little bit. The volume lets up. There aren't unlimited buyers and sellers out there. Sometimes they need a breath too, to take a break from their buying or selling, and that results in some sideways behavior, some givebacks. But then whichever side is the strongest is going to win out, especially when there's volume. So the behavior will show you who's winning the fight, the bears or the bulls. So Disney found some support a couple times right here around the SA line. So we'll let Disney go. Microsoft, that sideways behavior has been taking a breath around 223. So we've got some disagreement in the market right now. We've got a plus 17 here, and we're getting some early green market signs, but it's got a red background there. So best to just stay out. It's kind of a flat morning. SPY is heading back up towards 384, towards that opening price. Same for Dow weekly. IWM has had some buying, and there we get some more buying indicators, that green highlight tint in the background. Apple's making a charge up towards 135 again. Disney doesn't know what it wants to do yet. Here goes Boeing challenging that 209.5 kind of bottom right there. But we've got a green showing market, decently green, and Boeing's moving down. So I'm not going to trade a rogue stock. Plus, the sellers have been on this for 6 minutes now, 6 candles. And that's just a little bit too risky, a little bit too old. I want some fresh bread, not some stale bread. Boeing. Disney, again, moving red on a green showing market. Most of the stocks in my basket are and I track 10 at the moment. I have 10 in my basket. I've got those 4 indexes. I've got Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Disney, Boeing, and NVDA. And most of them are below their opening price. So I'm just going to be mostly looking for red moves right now. So wait for that market to turn red. Part of this life as a day trader, if you want this to be a systematic approach and have your day trading system pay you over time, then you have to exercise patience. My coach, who taught me how to day trade, or rather showed me the ropes of a system and built my own system, he introduced me to a quote that goes, "There's a season for sowing and a season for reaping. Self-discipline helps you know which is which." So exercising that patience is part of being disciplined. And when the indexes have low volume like this and they can't decide what they want to do, it's best just to sit on the sidelines. It's a disciplined approach. It's the approach that pays off. So here's interesting. Let's see what happens to Apple. If you are familiar with gaps, overnight gaps, Apple had the biggest gap in my basket, so it was $1.79 green, so it gapped up. You can see that marked here on the chart, and it's breaking above a 7-day 132.49, so it gapped above that previous high. So see what happens around 135. All of our stocks, oh, there you go. Boeing went down and almost touched that SB line, that support Bravo, which is a known point. It's a support line. And lo and behold, volume spike. Big time floor here, if you will, if you think of these as ceilings and floors. And it's moving up in the green direction. We've also got a market that's kind of flat, not doing much. Indexes are just chilling. Getting some good red indicators now on Dow Jones. It's early. Let's see how these play out. So at this point, once the indexes start getting unified and they start showing me united front, unity of effort in either the down or the up direction, I'm scouting out which stocks are in an ideal situation for a green or a red move. So if all the indexes go green, think my favorite right now is Apple. That's the first place I'm going to check for a green, fresh trend breaking out above that 135 and RB stacked on top of each other. For a red move, Boeing, if it breaks down below that 208.38 and this previous low, this little bottom right here, then I'll be super interested. But it's going to need to have some volume. It's going to need to have some market support. So I'm going to need the indexes to show me a red direction, as well as most of the stocks in my basket are going to need to be going in a red direction. Facebook looking pretty decent for a green breakout. If it can get some of that volume it had before and challenge that RA line again. 7-day break above. Disney is rebounding. No thank you. NVDA, that's a little bit of an older move, so maybe if it takes a breath and gets some fresh volume and momentum back in, I'll be in there. Microsoft is thinking about breaking down and wants to test that kind of bottom where it's gone sideways before. So let's see. There you go. Just break it down. 222 3/4. The next support line is 222.47. So basically 222.5. Boeing gets some more selling. Dow Jones, IWM. Now this is the kind of trend, if you could see IWM here, got big fat candles, solid red, got some good of these little blue markers or some special markers, as well as this yellow tint and the pink and or dark red highlight in the background. And it's also keeping nicely below that dashed line, that trend line. So there's some good momentum there at IWM, but it just doesn't fit my rules because the trend started way, way early, and this green candle wasn't enough of a trend stopper for me. So I'll let that one go. See what Microsoft does around this 222.50. We're just watching the behavior of these stocks. There goes Boeing. Finding some support at 208.38. NVIDIA breaking up. Nice, looking good, but we've got a red looking market, so I'm going to let NVIDIA go. Go, baby, go. You do your thing. I'll be sitting on the sideline watching. See what Apple's doing. Now, Apple breaking through 135. Testing it at least. 135.04. So again, we've got a sideways flat market. So I'll just give a control click, put a little purple marker on there and see how it plays out. Don't need that trade, even if it works out, don't need it. See what NVIDIA does. Looks like it's trying to touch that 540 and RA area. Big old volume spike. Approaching that 10 o'clock hour, so let's check out what's going on with some actual red stocks. Dow Jones. Not much happening. Spotty volume. Disney. When you trade with a rule set, it's very it's easy to get distracted if you're not focused. And focus is how you stick to your process. If you break your rules and you violate the rules and laws of your system, then you're not trading with the system. It can't protect you. The rules that you see me looking for in order to get in, provide that green light situation, they've been tested hundreds, thousands of times, and I know they work. Tested them in a simulator. Trader Genius has a day trading simulator where you can get all this ironed out, figured out in a simulated environment and make sure that your rules work, that they're effective, tested over time, multiple different market environments, randomized days to practice in. And you get to see basically everything the market can throw at you, all the different behaviors that the market or stocks can throw at you before you ever risk a single cent on your trades. It really is a huge benefit of using the Trader Genius software is the ability to practice in the simulated environment. Creates a calm trading mindset. if you can keep those little voices inside your head out. The greed, the hope, the fear, those are unhelpful for trading. So just leave them out of it. So there we go, that Apple trade. Again, it was a rogue, didn't fit our rules, my rules, so see ya. And it's finding some support, rather some resistance, bouncing off. Here goes Microsoft. We got some red confirmation on the market. Let's check out Disney. Not so much on the volume. Microsoft finding that support again at 222.50. Boeing. And we're approaching that 10 o'clock hour, so unless something really, really jumps off the screen at me, I'd rather not get caught in a turnaround. It's always painful. Nobody likes to lose money. So I don't want to get T-boned inching out from the intersection when I shouldn't be, when it's not clear. Let's follow the story. NVDA finally had some really good volume come in, and it drove that price up to about 540. Now the volume is subsiding, so it kind of lost its momentum. Let's keep an eye on NVIDIA here. As we approach, we're 3 minutes away from the big 10 o'clock time window closing, or 10 o'clock time window opening, depending on how you look at it. Let's see. SPY has found a floor, some support at two different places, or two different times at the same place, rather. Goes IWM breaking down, right butting up against where it found some support before, where there were buyers waiting right around 212 and a half, 212 and 3/4. So right in the territory it's in right now. Let's just watch and see how it plays out. It's a little bit too close to that 10 o'clock hour for me. Goes Facebook, jumping up. Apple challenging at 135 again. NVIDIA busting up. It's really easy once you see something flashy, something shiny, like a crow, squirrel, and your emotions get up and you want in. Oh, there's money to be made there. It's that greed talking. You have to just focus on your rules. Don't focus on the result, focus on the process. It's the kind of mindset you need to be a consistent trader. So we'll see what NVIDIA does here. Okay, let's try in 540 and a half is the resistance line. Boeing, and it's around its low. So watch it. We've got a completely sideways market. So rogue stocks are okay in a sideways market if you've practiced it. Rogue trading is not the same as trend trading. Trend trading in the traditional sense is trading along with the market. And in this case, we aren't seeing much market agreement. It's at zero. My Power Genius over here, it's the tool I use to tell me what the market behavior is in the overall. And let's see what NVIDIA does here. Busting up. Might be worth a look. Okay, let's take NVIDIA here. We'll watch its behavior. It's breaking up, up, up. 542. Okay. And we'll close it right there. So, what we've got is a quick NVIDIA trade on a day like this where it's flat, sideways. We got in and out in the same candle. And Here goes my trade log. We'll watch NVIDIA in the background when we're looking at it. So let's see, where's my tool? Right, if you look right here, we got in, bought at 504 and sold at 533. So that was an 11-second trade. Not too shabby. You may be able to do that mental math. I'm going to rely on my calculator. And then let's recap the trade. Okay. And that's my warnings. Trader Genius has a nice 2-minute timer to help you stay in the strong moves and really not stay in something that's not really going anywhere. It's a nice little reminder to check your position, make sure it's actually going in the direction you want. But again, we were out in 11 seconds. So the formula for figuring out your profit in a situation like this is take the bought price. We'll take the sold price, 533, minus the bought price, 504. You get a difference of 29 cents. Divide that by the bought price, 5.04. And we made 5.7% in just 11 seconds. It doesn't happen every time. Let me clear out all these drawings. All right, so back to the charts. What we had here on NVIDIA was a breakout from a previous top. The top it had found was right around 541, and this little Y point comes on that tells us there's some resistance, a little temporary ceiling, and it took a breath. So there was some selling going on, touched the bottom. We had that 10 o'clock hour I was talking about, and as soon as 10 o'clock started coming in, we started getting more and more of these simple on-off indicators saying that NVIDIA was building strength, gathering strength in the upward direction. So there are a set of indicators for green moves. They're mostly green and blue. There's a set of indicators for red moves, bearish moves. Those are mostly red and yellow. So it's color coordinated. Even a Marine can figure that out. But as we were talking throughout the first 30 minutes of the morning, there's a whole lot of sideways action. And when there's either big overnight gaps or some sideways behavior, non-committal indexes and market, it's best just to stick and move, be agile. And sometimes there are some market conditions where you're going to let a stock, an options trade, play out as the stock kind of trends in one direction. It's not really a trending day. This is more of a cyclical sideways day. So get in, get out. 11 seconds is not necessarily the standard. That's awful fast. But if you can get 5.7% in 11 seconds, I'll take that any day of the week. The problem is that a lot of people are prisoners of their own emotions, prisoner of the moment, and that little dog brain back there, your mammalian brain, instinctively says, there's money there, and you just try to hit a home run every single time. If you're only thinking about the money, then you're going to get caught in some emotional traps like that. The emotions actually hijack you. So that is not conducive to consistent, systematic, long-term success in trading. Instead, use that mindset, as I said at the top of this recording, exercise the patience that's necessary to wait for your setup, wait for your pitch, then put a good swing on it. Don't swing out of your shoes. Just try to put the barrel of the bat to the ball, make good contact, and watch the follow through. There's pre-trade actions, there's in-trade actions, and there's post-trade actions. So we just kind of did a recap. NVIDIA had an awful big volume spike, and it shot up for us as far as the profit percentage. Stick and move, be agile, get out of there. It's not the kind of day to let this thing run for a while. So we'll take our 5.7%. As soon as I turn off the recording, I'll get in my trade log. It's essential for running a trading business. It's like the books of your business. So get a spreadsheet, start tracking some parameters, learn as you go, and grow as a trader. So I hope you enjoyed this trade-episode. Again, this is Thursday, January 21st, 2021. And I hope you guys have happy trading. I'll see you around.